I just wanted to make sure that you're going to be making dinner for me every day now, right? We just had the wedding yesterday, and that now means starting today that you and I are to act just like proper husband and wife. As my wife, you are going to do everything and anything I need from you, right?
Well, you don't have to say it like that, Brody. I plan to be the same woman you ended up marrying, and let's do our best to support one another.
Huh? You're joking, right?
What do you mean? Did it sound like that was a joke to you?
You and I just got married, right? Which means things between us are going to be a lot different now than they were before. I shouldn't have to tell you that, right? You should already know what your job is now as my wife.
What? What things between us are supposed to have changed now besides you and I being married?
Oh, for crying out loud. Are you really begging for me to just flat out say what I mean to you? I guess you really don't have any idea what I'm talking about now, huh? I just told you that we got married and you are my wife now. Do you really think that means we will both be working together to support one another? Do you call yourself a wife when you speak like that about us?
Wait a second. I don't actually understand what's going on here. Are you trying to go on about who does what when it comes to chores now?
I'm not trying to tell you who's going to do what. And that's because you are going to do everything when it comes to the chores around the house.
Huh? What? You want me to do everything in the house?
You're the wife now. And that's part of what comes with being the wife, right? Or are you going to say you never knew anything about that? Did you really just get married to me without that kind of common sense?
What common sense are you talking about? This whole time you and I have been together, we've made sure that we're both equally doing the chores, right? It's been that way with everything, including the cooking.
Come on! Why are you trying to act like I do any of that now, lol? I'm not going to be cooking for myself for as long as you're my wife. You and I got married, so it's your job now to take care of me.
What was all of that then that we had before getting married? You and I were both working together to get cooking and cleaning done. What happened to that version of you, Brody? I assumed that since we've always been doing things like that, we'd continue to do so after marriage.
I'm shocked by this. It's actually pretty incredible that you lack the kind of common sense that women normally have, lol.
Are you trying to tell me that all along you just assumed after we got married that I'd be the only one responsible for the chores and cooking in this house? I don't get it. That's not at all fair to me, especially since we're both working full-time jobs right now.
What kind of fairness are we getting at here, lol? This is how it's always been for married couples, and that just means you're going to have to put in more work. We both got things we have to do that aren't the same, and that's why it might seem like this is all unfair to you.
Well then, what do you have to do that I don't have to?
Work.
But I'm also working right now. That's the whole reason why you and I have been splitting the housework between us, right?
Well, I'm a male, which means I have a right to work. I don't have to worry about cleaning the house or making meals. Now that we got that clear, I expect there to be dinner ready for me when I get home today. And from now on, you are to speak to me with very polite English. Do you understand?
Would you hold on just a second? You are not the same Brody that I was dating just the other day. You're like a completely different person from him, and it's a bit scary. Is this not just some kind of joke right now? Are you really trying to tell me that this is the man you've been this whole time, Brody?
This is the real me. The only reason I wasn't acting like this before is because we weren't quite married yet. Now that you and I are married, though, I can go back to being the man I've always been.
I have zero clue what you mean. I can go ahead and make dinner for us tonight, all right? But let's talk about all of this again later, please.
What was that food? I know. I already said this once yesterday, but are you actually trying to piss me off right now?
In what way am I trying to piss you off, Brody?
Do you really think I wanted to eat something like that last night? Like, seriously? Do you really think you can call yourself a wife when you only cook up 2 things for me to eat?
I think you're just asking for too much food. I was a bit stressed by how you were acting all of yesterday, but it seems that same behavior is carried over into today.
Why did you only make up 2 different things to eat yesterday? That is not what I call dinner. I want you to make at least 5 different things for me each night for dinner.
5 different things? That's not going to happen when I also have to work every day.
You do realize I'm not asking you to do this for me. I'm telling you to. In other words, this is an order from me.
Huh? Are you going to try and force me into cooking that much for you now?
Hey, shut your mouth. I don't want you forgetting that you are my wife now, and you have new responsibilities. That also means you need to start talking to me more politely.
You really want me to be polite with you right now? Really?
You making me such a little to eat last night has really made me start thinking twice about you and what you're doing. I don't give a crap that you're working a job like me or not. I want 5 different foods cooked for me each night. Do you understand that? If you cannot do that for me, then I can no longer view you as my wife.
Wait, what the actual hell has gotten into you?
Be polite with me!
I'm sorry. What has happened to you, Brody? What you're asking for is impossible for me right now.
Are you going to try making up excuses now?
You're asking me to do the impossible right now, okay? I also have to work, and I also have to start doing all the chores myself, like you've said, right? Tell me, Brody, what are you going to do while I have to do all of that?
As the husband, I'll come back home to the house, lol. Then, once I'm back home, I'm going to enjoy myself. That's the whole reason I got married to you in the first place, Gia, lol.
Are you trying to tell me that the Brody I was with before getting married was just you putting on a facade and acting like you were going to work with me after getting married? You had also been talking about equal rights and everything for men and women as well. Was that all a lie?
Well, I wouldn't call all of that a lie. It just so happened that no matter the couple, after getting married, things will change between them.
So that's how this is going to be? So what you want from me is to just stay quiet and do everything you say? It hurts to see that you've changed so drastically from the man I cared for and loved. But I have no other choice now. I'll make sure to obey everything you ask of me.
Listen to me right now, Gia. Ever since we got married 2 days ago, you've gotten everything wrong. Do you want to be divorced over not being able to cook me 5 things for dinner? You are my wife now. My wife. And that means starting today, I want everything done right by you. Every night, there better be 5 different meals prepared for me to eat.
Understood.
You better not forget that, lol.
But there's just one condition with all of this.
Huh? What conditions are you going on about? Do you actually think that as my wife, you can give me conditions that I have to follow?
I do, actually. And this condition is very important to you, I believe. If you're really wanting me to make you 5 different foods a day for dinner, then you'll hear me out. My condition to you is that in return for having to cook so much, you are going to pay for all the groceries that I have to buy.
Huh? Why should I have to do that? Are you trying to say I need to pay you now?
For the longest time now, I've been the one paying for groceries. I didn't mind doing that for us because both you and I would cook. But from now on, you're not going to be cooking anymore, right? That means you need to start paying for the food you're wanting me to cook, or else there will be problems between us.
Well, I guess you had always paid for the food.
Also, you're the one that'll be eating way more than me every night, right? Having me be the only one to still pay for all of the food is just unfair to me.
You do realize that there's no way you can make a husband and wife relationship perfectly fair to both parties, right?
You want me to make 5 things for you each night, right? even though I'm working just as much as you are every day?
That's right. If you don't make what I want, then it's a divorce.
Well, if that's going to be the case, then please pay for the groceries. With just my salary, it'll start to get pretty tough for me. Especially when you count the fact that things are going up in price still.
I see. Then I suppose there's no other choice here. But if I'm going to be paying for all of the groceries, every single thing you cook me each day had better be what I want. You get that, right? If you even make just one mistake, things will not go so well for you.
I understand. I was just saying all of that in order to be able to do as you wish. Without you listening to me, I was never going to be able to cook you that much food. But now that we are aware of what each other wants, I can make you 5 things for dinner a day.
And it better not just be all vegetables either. I will not forgive you if that becomes the case.
You've always hated vegetables. But even with you having hated eating vegetables, you and I were always cooking vegetable-based foods to watch our health.
And I honestly hated having to eat all that crap with you. I hate foods like that which only an animal should be eating. And for a while, when we would cook all that vegetable garbage, I started to really think that your cooking was terrible, lol. From now on, make sure to study more meat-focused dishes so that you can actually please me for once.
Alright, but remember that I still have to work 8 hours a day here.
What was that? Excuse me?
That was nothing. I'll make sure to study up on some good dishes for you. I'll give some new recipes a try for you, and we'll see what all you really like. Goodbye now.
I want steak of all types on my plate every night, alright? Beef, pork, chicken, lamb.
And that's the reason why you need to make sure you give me enough money to afford all of that for you. As long as you keep the money coming, I'll make sure to keep the meat coming.
I have no other choice at this point. Just remember that if you can't make me happy, even with me paying for the food, then it's over for you and I.
Understood. I'll make sure that all of the food is cooked well enough to please you.
You sure will, lol. Had you just said something like that from the very start, then we would have not have had to waste all this time yapping. If you keep up that good attitude towards me, I'll make sure to keep on thinking of you as a decent wife, lol.
Alright then. Just make sure that each and every day you eat your dinner.
Have you made tonight's dinner yet?
Excuse me? What are you talking about? Of course I'm making your dinner right now, and it's pretty much finished and ready for you.
What did you end up making for me today? Really, you could add some more vegetables or something for today. Honestly, just a small amount of everything will be alright, as long as there's some green.
Don't you get too worried about that. I've already made everything up for you, and it will be waiting for you when you get home. Today, you are getting a huge plate of fried chicken, as well as some spaghetti. And let's not forget about the country-style omelet that I've made as well. Then we have some beef stew and pork cutlet to finish it all off. Your 5 dishes, all ready for you when you get home.
Just hearing you say all that to me has gotten my heart racing and my forehead sweating. Do you really think I'll be able to eat all that? Just stop it with all the cooking, please!
What? What are you talking about right now, Brody? What do you mean you want me to stop it with all this cooking?
I want you to stop making me so much food to eat every single night, please. I'm getting to the point now where I physically cannot eat the amount of food you are cooking for me. Have you not started to feel terrible eating that kind of food all the time?
I'm not really sure what you're going on about. You were the one commanding me to make all of this food for you every night, right? I made sure to do as you asked me to, and that meant each and every dinner would have 5 different foods prepared for you. It was you asking me to do all of this cooking for you and to make sure there was plenty of meat each time. So what exactly is the problem here?
Have you seen how I've been looking?
What? Well, I suppose you are a bit more chubby than before. But is that really what all of this is about?
My body is getting massive from all the food I keep eating, alright? I'm asking you to please stop making all of that crap for me to eat. How many pounds do you think I've gained in this past month? I've gone up 40 pounds, Gia! 40 pounds!
40 pounds? That really is a lot of fat you've put on them, Brody. Are you trying to become a sumo wrestler or something now?
Don't you make fun of me! Are you trying to make me feel bad about all of this? You shouldn't even be saying anything about how I look when this is all due to your cooking. If you keep feeding me like that, then I'm going to have a heart attack or something.
Well, then why didn't you just stop eating so much when I cooked dinner? All I was doing was cooking your 5 different foods a day for you, since that's what you had asked from me. Are you really going to start complaining about something you told me to do and then blame it all on me? Do you even plan on taking responsibility for what you told me?
Listen, Gia, have you been making me such garbage food this whole time with the intent of making me fat? I shouldn't be this fat after eating what you've been cooking me if it had just been normal food. What the hell are you trying to do to me?
What I've been trying to do is do as you say. And you said not to cook you a lot of vegetables and to make sure there was lots and lots of meat. Don't you feel a little dumb for complaining about the thing you had been saying for me to do?
Who are you calling dumb? I knew this is what you were trying to do. You went along with what I had asked you in order to fatten me up and then have a reason to make fun of me.
Well, I'll leave that one up to your imagination, Brody. But how about you just think of all this clearly? All I did was cook the types of food you wanted from me and the amounts you wanted from me. And after cooking what you wanted, you had the choice of eating it all, like you have been, or just eating the things you could handle, like you should have been. Also, do you really think it's healthy for someone to gain that kind of weight in 1 month? Had you just been watching how much you ate every night, then you wouldn't be looking like a deflated balloon. No matter how you look at this right now, blaming me for you becoming fat is not at all right.
I knew it! You did all of this on purpose! I knew something like this was going to be true, but just hearing from you that you wanted to make me fat hurts. Why the hell would you do this to me? Right now, I'm not even able to fit into any of my clothing, especially my suits. Do you not realize how much trouble you've just caused me by making me this huge?
Trouble? All you've done is caused yourself those troubles, all right? I didn't do anything that forced you to eat all of that food. You have to understand that just like I do, right?
I'm not going to forgive you for this. The fact that you fattened me up like this.
Are you even listening to yourself right now? You were the one that asked me to make all of that food up for our dinner every night, and so I did just that to avoid worse outcomes. I've even been eating the same foods as you, and look at me. I'm not any fatter than I was a month ago. I've just been making sure that I eat the amount I need to and no more.
Are you trying to say it's my fault that I'm fat now? No matter how one looks at it, you've been the one forcing me to eat all of your food. Isn't it supposed to be your job as my wife to make sure I don't get this huge? To maintain my health?
What? You're an adult, right? I don't remember you ever still being a child. If you really are the adult you want to make me believe you are, then you should be able to watch your weight yourself.
You're my wife, and watching my health is your job, your responsibility.
Ugh, you really seem to be just full of complaints now. I mean, you were paying for all that food, so you knew I was buying a lot for you. And you even went ahead and ate all of it, even when it started to hurt. And all of this started because you said that 2 things for dinner wasn't enough for you and that you wanted more. So I did what I was told to and started cooking 5 unhealthy things for you every day. So cut it out with all those complaints and just shut up.
Why are you talking to me like that?
Because I'm tired of listening to you go on and on about crap that is only your fault, nobody else's. If you're going to keep complaining like that, I am seriously going to stop listening to you for good. You were the one that commanded me to do all of this, right?
If you don't stop talking to me with that attitude right now, I'm going to get pissed.
Go ahead and get pissed off with me then. I'm already past my limits with you and am no longer holding back.
What was that?
By the way, when it comes to the cost of all the food, do you know how much it cost for just this month's groceries alone?
What?
I feel that your income this month has all gone right into paying for groceries.
Huh? What?
In order to keep you happy with me and to not piss you off, I've been making sure to buy you all the best ingredients and meat. And you went ahead and ate all that cooking, which was costing you more than just eating out. With that, you went ahead and spent over $2,000 in food this month alone.
Huh? You're joking, right? You quit it right now with all this crap.
I'm not trying to kid you about anything though, Brody. I've been getting all that money from your account this whole time, so you can tell it's been costing you a lot. You had days where you wanted Wagyu from Japan. Other days you wanted me to go out and get you the most expensive gelato. You were always asking me for all these really expensive foods, and there was no way I could say no to any of it.
I'm sure I was asking for a lot of higher priced foods. But who the hell told you it was actually okay to spend that much money on food this month?
Okay, go ahead and tell me how much you said for me to spend each month on food then. Go ahead and tell me how much. I can't wait. Oh, that's right. You never gave me a price limit, did you? So this must mean that you blaming me for all your mistakes is misplaced blame. You were the one that asked for all of that to happen, and I obeyed. You should be thanking me now for going and doing every little thing you asked.
I have no reason to be thanking you for anything. How much longer are you going to pick on me like that before you're satisfied? I'm not going to let you get away with any of that anymore. If you do anything else without my permission from here on, or you make fun of me like that anymore, it's going to be a divorce. Do you want to be divorced by me? If you're troubled by hearing that from me, then you will show me right now that you understand.
I have no reason to understand you anymore, you fat cow.
What?
It's too late for you to get all upset with me and start threatening me with a divorce. The last time you and I fought, you threatened me by filling out and signing our divorce papers, right? Well, I went ahead and handed them in for us.
Huh? You handed those divorce papers in? What the hell are you talking about? There's no way you can just hand those in without my permission.
What? Why can't I?
What do you mean, why can't you? You and I are a married couple. Husband and wife, right? I just got those papers together and filled out in case I needed to scare you into submission some more. You should not just hand those in for real without asking me if it's okay first.
I don't need you telling me if it's okay or not. Nice try with scaring me into submission like that, you dumb bastard.
Wait, Gia! Why do you keep calling me such terrible names like that? That is not at all the way you should be talking to or about your husband, right?
I have had it with you, Brody. You're just a selfish, self-centered, fat-bodied bastard. I've already handed in the divorce paperwork for us, so now all you are to me is a complete stranger. Isn't this just great? You were finally able to get divorced from such a useless wife like me. But understand that you can no longer blame me for anything now. We're divorced now, and all your troubles and problems are your own.
Wait a second, please, Gia! Are you being serious about the two of us no longer being married? I never actually wanted for us to be divorced, though!
Well, even if that wasn't what your plan was with me, to me, you no longer wanted me around you, and that meant divorce. There really is nothing else for us to talk about now, right?
Wait, just a little bit more. We're not divorced. I didn't do anything wrong to deserve something like that. Tell me what I did wrong.
You did everything wrong, my guy. Being married to you was a real miss on my part, I suppose. Right now, I don't even want to see your fat face anymore. So now, would you please just go away forever?
Gia, wait, please.
I think it really is a good idea to stop begging me to wait and get a hold of yourself instead. Now you go ahead and enjoy your diet of meats and carbs, and I hope you end up on one of those major weight loss channels really soon. Although you're going to have to cook all that yourself, because I'm not sticking around to cook you any more grease. After that, Brody tried with all his might to get Gia to listen to him and come back, but Gia wasn't having any of it and completely ignored him. Not only did Gia tell the fatty to get lost, though, but at work, everyone began to realize just how fat he was and started to side-eye him all the time. He's no longer respected by anyone within the office or outside of it, and will have to try really hard to gain anyone's respect back. But before he can do that, he might want to start with changing his whole diet so that he has the energy to move around again.